trading is such a simple and almost binary activity. You buy, you sell, you buy futures, you sell futures. I mean, it's very simple to, once you know the algorithm, once you figure out how you can benefit from the market movements, it's very simple to automate and create and bot an AI to deal with the market. So where I see the future of trading being is absolutely just bots, absolutely just bots, absolutely just bots.
Thank you for joining the Change I Am Possible, which is India's first Future Tech Meets Sustainability podcast. And today I'm delighted and honored to have with me Mr. Brad Yasar, who's an entrepreneur, investor, mentor, and an advisor. He's also the co-founder of the Blockchain Investors Consortium with over $5 billion allocated to blockchain and cryptocurrency projects, and is currently the founder, CEO of Eqifi, which is powered by Eqifi Bank, one of the world's leading licensed and regulated digital banks. So, Brad, it's a pleasure and honor to have you on the show. Really appreciate you taking time and being part of a humble effort to raise awareness on future technologies such as blockchain and DeFi. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, Eddie.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. There's a whole lot of hype around decentralized finance. So can you explain to my audience what decentralized finance is and how it's going to help everyone, right from your individuals to businesses?
Of course. So decentralized finance, or DeFi, is a technology-first disintermediating approach to finance. And what I mean by that is, in the traditional financial systems, there's a central authority. There's a government, there is a regulator, there is a bank. There's someone in the middle that says, Eddie, you trust me, so I'm going to take your money, and Brad, you trust me too, and I'm going to loan it to you. But Eddie, you can't loan directly to Brad because you don't know him, and he may just run away with your money and never pay you back. That's the existing traditional model, where we have a trusted central authority that facilitates financial transactions, whether it be lending, borrowing, checking accounts. We always trust someone else with our money. With decentralized finance, what is happening is, instead of trusting a central authority, we trust the programming. We trust the decentralized software that's running, that facilitates similar or more advanced products. So now, instead of you having to deposit your money in the bank and get a promise of an interest return, then bank taking that money and lending it to me, and me making interest payments on it, and them making profits on it, now we have a system where a smart contract, a piece of code, says, Eddie, if you deposit this much money into this contract is going to loan it out to these to people who need it, and they're going to collateralize it. And then if they keep paying their loans back, you make your interest. If they don't pay their loans back, you get the collateral. So you're not at risk of anything. I'm not at risk of anything. No credit checks, no bank refusing to do business with me because I don't have the right identification, right income, right nationality. It eliminates all the central authority friction and exclusion from the equation. So someone in India can borrow from someone in China, and vice versa, and it makes this peer-to-peer transactions possible. That's the beauty of decentralized finance.
So you're saying that DeFi is a more equitable way of creating a financial industry. Almost all of our industry works in a very opaque manner. There are walls everywhere. They try and put blinkers everywhere. Trust is such a big big problem, because today, when we interact with a traditional banking industry, or trust is declining. It's not just the banking industry, it's the politics and so on and so forth. But these new technology which is coming in, like blockchain and DeFi, it promises a decentralized future where things could be a little bit more transparent. But here you are saying that you don't want to lose the old world benefits, what the traditional banking offers. You leveraging that also, and you leveraging the new, which is DeFi also, right?
So I think you touched on two really interesting and important points. Opacity has always been an issue. When you have someone poised to benefit from a transaction, of course, we want to know what that is. And in the traditional space, we don't know. When you get a loan to buy a house, you don't always know who's making what. You just get an interest rate and you get some fees, and those fees and rates are mandated. They're not market driven. The government says now there's a subsidy, rates go down. They take away the subsidy, now they go up. So with a decentralized peer-to-peer approach, it's a pure market rate. It's also, just like you said, very inclusive, because we currently have 2 billion people that are left out of our existing financial and banking systems. No fault of their own in most instances. They just don't have the social structures in place. Maybe an ID they can use, maybe access to internet, maybe access to a bank branch to use those products and services, which to me is both surprising and unacceptable. At the 21st century, with all the technology we have, all the resources we have, how can we not have a system that can include everyone? I believe everyone should have at least a minimum level of access to financial products and banking that suits their needs and their lifestyle. If they just need a checking account, they should have a checking account. If they need a crypto wallet, they should have a crypto wallet. If they need to connect the two without being penalizing so they can spend their crypto, that should be afforded to them. And that's what we're most excited about. And that's what Eqifi is building, a platform that has multiple users and that can cater to even simple users who just may want to use two of our products, or very sophisticated, very heavy users where they're going to go into all our yield products, all our lending products, have multiple bank accounts, have multiple lines of credit, because those are their needs. But I think we should be able to offer that to everyone globally.
Right. So I hear you when you say that there is 2 billion people which are still unbanked. Now, the problem that I see is most of the technologies which are coming, whatever it is, blockchain, DeFi, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, these are extremely loaded and very overwhelming for a common man. Because we are so traditional beings, we stick to what we have and we don't want to change because we are comfortable with what we have. Is it that COVID hit us, it came and it hit us, slapped us so hard, and it has forced us to change because COVID has kind of accelerated technology, and suddenly we are now all talking about technologies and DeFi and blockchain, AR, VR, MR and everything. Now, how do we start by simplifying this? Now, for a person who is vested in traditional finance, how do we nudge him towards, taking the step from moving from a traditional banking to a DeFi? And why should he move to DeFi? What would be the benefits? Maybe we could start over there. And
I think the mass adoption is going to come from taking blockchain and DeFi out of the conversation. So you have a cell phone now. You use your cell phone. Do you know any of the technologies your cell phone uses to communicate with the world? You don't. You use the internet on your cell phone, on your tablet, on your laptop if you have one. Do you know the technologies internet is made out of? There's dozens of things that happen in your browser every time you click on a page. You don't know any of it, and you don't care because you're not there to learn the underlying technology. You're there to buy your groceries, talk to your family members. You're there to write something, share something, send an email, read an article, learn something. So the same type of shift needs to happen, and that's our driving force with Eqifi, to make UI UX as simple as possible, because we can't expect people to have the technical know-how. Just like you said, there's billions of people who are very traditional. You know, they were born in a paper money world. They maybe adopted plastic cards because it's more practical, but it took them decades to do that. And now they know paper money because that's what they were born into, and they know this plastic card can pay for stuff too. So those are the two value transfer mechanisms for them. We need to make blockchain powered projects, whether it's decentralized finance, decentralized banking, decentralized anything, as simple as that, as simple as showing people, here is what you can do. You come to this website, you know how to use websites in general. It's a simple process. You get onboarded, you open an account. Obviously, you know, there's some KYC there, so we know who you are. And then here is the suite of products and rates available to you. As simple as that. No MetaMask, no Trust Wallet, no Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Solana. All these things are incredibly fascinating for a technologist like me. You know, I get excited seeing new blockchains appear. I get excited looking at code, but that's my personal experience. That's very unique. I don't want DeFi to be inaccessible because someone doesn't know how to create a MetaMask wallet, right? So that's a barrier to entry. I don't want DeFi to be inaccessible because people don't know how to buy crypto. It should be as easy as buying groceries. You should go to our website or any others, and we hope we're not alone in this, and we have other people doing the same thing or better things. But it should be so easy that you go, you don't even have to know what blockchain you're on. You don't even have to know what crypto. You just simply see the value the platform brings to you, the return, the rates. And I think we need to simplify DeFi and blockchain to that level. So anyone in the world, one, has access. So anyone who has a phone or a tablet should be able to access this. Two, they understand what they're accessing. So it's not this unknown thing. They look at it and they say, oh, okay, I put 10 rupees, I get 2 rupee every month back. As in, not Bitcoin price went to this, Ethereum is doing that. Again, great things if you're truly interested in alternative assets and the markets, but most people are not. I mean, I have doctor friends that are very sophisticated, very intelligent, and they're not interested in the markets. They tell me, Brad, give us a product where we can put our savings and we know what we're going to earn, and that's all. They don't want to learn how to create a wallet. They don't want to track Ethereum. They don't want to deal with tokens. So we need to simplify the user experience to a point where it becomes the next tradition for the next generations.
Perfect. I think, you put it out plain and simple. I think, once we are able to simplify this without overcomplicating and talking about the technology, I think that would be the way towards mass adoption. I personally am extremely excited about blockchain, DeFi, and what it's going to do, not just for the banking industry, but all other industries eventually. Why don't we talk about Eqifi? What is it? Why was it incepted? What's the mission? And what is it that makes Eqifi different from a traditional bank?
Eqifi is the dream of my co-founder, Jason Blick, and me to bring DeFi together with banking. And on his hand, he's a banker, and he said, Brad, if we can solve the problem of negative and low interest rates, people losing money by having their money in a bank account, it would be a huge win for us because the big banks can't solve it, and they're not even trying. So on the banking side, you have a lot of customers who created incredible amounts of wealth, worked really hard, and every year their savings are dwindling. Instead of growing, it's going down because some major currencies have negative interest rates, and others have so small, insignificant interest rates that you put $1 million, a year later you have $1 million and 500. I mean, it's ridiculous that the bank uses that money, leverages 10 times to make loans and earn interest in the double digits, and then they give you $500. So that's one of the problems. The other problem on the DeFi side that I kept hearing from fellow investors, founders, users was, we created all this value. We created millions of dollars of value with our DeFi protocol, platform, token, pools, and we can't use it in our everyday lives because as soon as we try to take some value out, there's so many barriers. You have, let's say, $1 million in a liquidity pool. Now you sell your LP tokens, you deal with impermanent loss and some exit fees. So now you have less money. Now you have the currency of the blockchain you're on. Now you want to turn that into a stable to avoid fluctuations. You go to a stable coin, there's another conversion fee. Then you go from stable coin to the fiat currency in your local market, and there you have some fiat currency on an exchange now. Now you need to withdraw that fiat currency from the exchange to a card or to your bank. It can get denied. The wire can be reversed, and they can say, you know what, Eddie, we're going to close your account because you tried to withdraw whatever, $10,000 from Binance into your bank account. What do you do? I mean, that's your value. That's your money. You created it. You worked hard. You traded, whatever you did. And now you're denied access to it, and you can't go and buy a car. You can't go and buy a house. So that was the biggest challenge I saw in the DeFi space. Our problems are really simple: access, both to DeFi people and the regular people who don't have access to DeFi. So Eqifi was born from the vision and need to bring the two together in a frictionless way and allow people to put fiat onto a platform and benefit from DeFi, put tokens or LP tokens or crypto onto the other side and benefit by withdrawing fiat. And that's the genesis of Eqifi. Now, what differentiates us from a traditional bank? That's really easy. We are licensed and regulated as a bank, but we're crypto friendly. We're not going to close your account. Once you open an account with us, we promise that obviously barring any illegal activities or any kind of suspicious activity on the account, you are going to keep your bank account regardless of how much crypto you have, how much crypto you convert to fiat, how much of it you withdraw. That's the value you created. It's yours. And we just want to enable that. And on the banking side, we want to give all our banking clients an option to earn 3%, 4%. I'm not talking about crazy numbers like 400% APY pools or any. Those are too risky. The bank clients, our institutional clients, our corporate clients, they're not interested in that because everyone who's been in the space understands when you go to 3-digit returns, they're not sustainable. I mean, let's be real. No one's going to keep paying you 1,000% API longer than a couple days or a couple weeks at best. But the real returns that you can get, like a stable coin to stable coin or something like that, are still so much higher than traditional banking that we want to bring those returns to our institutional clients and say, look, you can use crypto in a very safe, licensed, regulated manner and have the peace of mind that your bank account is not bearing a negative interest. So that was the genesis of Eqifi. That's what differentiates us from other DeFi projects.
Lovely. Yeah, super. How cool is that? Because there is obviously, with the ICO and the volatile nature of crypto, there is a lot of negativity attached around with it. You're saying that what you're building is regulated and is going to be more safe. So we wish you and the team very best for that. Today, there are a lot of these companies, like I was having a conversation with Singularity DAO, and they are leveraging artificial intelligence. So are you doing something like that? Are you leveraging, how is that built? And what are your shine light on those crypto AI trading bots also? Where is this going? Are we letting more of or agency onto these machines, and is the future of finance going to be more algorithmic trading? Is there where we are going?
That's a great question. Now, I've been a trader myself. I traded Forex and stocks in another lifetime. So in my lifetime, we went from traders being king to algorithmic trading being so quick and emotionless that because of the technological advances, and you're thinking AI, machine learning, I'm thinking internet speeds, because at the speed at which you place your orders makes the world of a difference between making a profit and losing money on that order. So it's not even as sophisticated and futuristic as AI blockchain or machine learning. It's just better internet pipelines in the world allows us to, and like AWS and things like that, allows us to create these scripts, create these trading bots, create these algorithms that outperform human reaction. Now, of course, the traders watching the show are going to say, Brad, you don't know what you're talking about. Every good trader places their positions in advance, and then if their predictions come true, they're already in play. And I agree. Obviously, if you have a long-term strategy, you can do better than algorithmic trading bots and things like that. But imagine how much time you need to spend doing technical analysis and spending time in front of a screen with TradingView open or whatever software you use, Bloomberg Terminal, to really effectively tweak and adjust things. So where I see the future of trading being is absolutely just bots. I mean, there is zero reason for a human being to try to track a market, although human brain is still superior to any AI, any algorithm, any trading bot we can create. I mean, it's apples to oranges, but expecting a human being to be focused 24/7 on a screen, emotionless and making the right calls is just unrealistic. It doesn't happen. Even the best traders have an off day. It has nothing to do with the market. They're worried about something, or something happens in their lives and they're not paying attention, and boom, they miss something. What the bots don't do is miss something. They're consistent. So if you can figure out the right algorithm and the right information and sequencing to feed them, they're always going to do the right thing. When you do find the right instructions to give the bot, you take out being tired, you take out being emotional, you take out anything that slows down a human. Like, it takes me maybe 5 seconds to execute a trade if I'm familiar with the exchange and the system. The bot does it in milliseconds with the technology we have. And you said in the future, absolutely, if we look at a future where we have smart AIs who've learned about the market. So they've observed, let's say, the Bitcoin movements, the stock market movements for 3 to 5 years. They're going to be as efficient as you can be executing strategies compared to a human being. I foresee us being able to license non-human entities for broker-dealer licenses in the next 5 years. And I think as more of these become globally available on all markets, not just crypto, but stock markets, bond markets, Forex, less people are going to be needed. I mean, if you look at the New York Stock Exchange now and Chicago Mercantile Exchange, those floors where people had papers and they were yelling and like trying to get in the bids, they don't exist anymore. It's all electronic. I mean, they're still human beings, but it's electronic. They work on their workstations, and it's much faster that way than yelling at someone with orders in your hand. So we went from paper market making orders to digital, and now we're going to go from digital with human supervision to digital, no human involved and automated. And then once we get there, it's just going to be a commodity where you can buy into, I can buy into, anyone can earn a passive income from those. And it's an exciting future for me because it's more inclusive again. It doesn't require people to learn difficult things to have a passive income stream.
Lovely. Yeah, so obviously it sounds super exciting. At the same time, it's a little bit scary also, because if the protocol goes into fringe elements, I mean, there could be things, I mean, various things could happen. Sticking to this subject, I mean, earlier traditionally the banks were like, 50, 100 people, and that's how, you required people to run the bank. Now, you mentioned in the beginning of the conversation that DeFi runs on code. But there is still people required. We still require a layer of governance, people who run the code, execute the code, and so on and so forth. Then we are going into decentralized autonomous organization. Is that first, would you like to explain to my audience what DAOs are, and how will this disrupt the traditional banking and finance industry?
Well, let's start with your fears. Yes, if there are fringe cases, there could be very big implications to people using those automated systems. That exists with any new technology, right? Self-driving cars. Would I want to have one? Absolutely. Would I use the self-driving mode? Yes. Is there a risk that the software may fail and I may be in an accident that kills me? Unfortunately, yes, but I'm hoping that the creators of the software and the hardware have the fail-safes in place, that if the AI dies, the car doesn't keep accelerating and it just stops, right? I mean, it's not convenient that you stop in the middle of the road, but it's better than hitting another car or a barrier. It's the same thing. If the trading bot fails, like we built for my quant fund, we built dozens of trading bots, and when they fail, they remove all of the positions and reset. So like we minimize the impact, and there may be some loss incurred because of that failure, but people don't lose everything they put into the system. So a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. So as the name suggests, it's decentralized. It's not in one place. It can't be shut down. It can't be destroyed unless our whole planet goes away. It's autonomous, and the level of autonomy is different. So you may have a DAO that only does one thing, and it's a DAO, it functions by itself, but a very simplistic model. Or you can have a whole country become a DAO, a whole bank become a DAO. So when you take decentralized, autonomous organization, that means you're organizing for something, right? A DAO has to have a purpose, and there are already some companies becoming DAOs, which is very exciting. And there are some DAOs being born out of nowhere. Now, obviously, the earlier ones are relatively simple. They have governance. So if you have a certain token, you can vote for the DAO to do something or take some action or change something. But in the future, with an AI component, with a neural net component, we're going to be able to do incredible things with a DAO structure. Is it the future of everything? No. You know, you're going to have things where, again, for at least my lifetime, humans are going to be superior than any code we can create. I mean, I still have my sticker that says "In code we trust," but I also understand the limitations of the code we trust in. So like trading is such a simple and almost binary activity. You buy, you sell, you buy futures, you sell futures. I mean, it's very simple to, once you know the algorithm, once you figure out how you can benefit from the market movements, it's very simple to automate and create and bot an AI to deal with the market. Driving is much more complex because you have animals, you have people, you have other cars. There's so much to process and so many life-changing decisions that you need to make every second that's a very complex system. So if a DAO were to manage traffic for us, that would have to be a very high throughput and very smart DAO. And then you have a lot of other things that can be quite interesting to turn into a DAO and experiment, like a government. So humans need governance because otherwise half of the population is going to be lost, a quarter is going to do things they shouldn't, and the other quarter is going to keep doing what they do. So we do need some infrastructure within which we define our social interactions and economic interactions and all that. But do we really need other people to govern us? Would a society be different if we were governed by a DAO and code written by extremely passionate, empathetic, smart people, and then voted by everyone? So if a DAO were to be created to replace the government and each function in the DAO was voted on by the whole population, would that be a better governance than what some countries have right now? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be an exciting experiment if any country dares, undertake it. But I think DAOs are going to evolve once we have the tools and the legal frameworks to structure them. People are going to start experimenting. And it's going to be very exciting. I mean, before we can use a DAO properly, we need to figure out the identity piece of it, right? Sovereign identity, global identity. How do we do this? Like, it's not just, oh, we need a DAO and it's going to be great. No, in order to have a functioning DAO in a meaningful way, there's the transactional piece. Like, what are the rewards? How are they paid out and used? Then you have the identity piece. Then you have the communication piece, like how do we communicate with this smart code? Is it just through voting, or is it going to be through human interactions? I mean, imagine if a DAO had a sophisticated enough AI, you could talk to your DAO. You wouldn't have to, again, get on your MetaMask and click on execute smart contract with 02205 to say, yes, I want to vote yes. I mean, right now it's so technical and complicated to interact with a DAO. You don't pull in the regular people, but as soon as I'm going to be able to talk to it like I'm talking to you right now and say, hey, DAO Eddie, I would like, a tax increase because we need more roads. And you would say, okay, Brad, your vote is recorded and we're working on these proposals. And then you show me the proposals and which ones I voted on. I mean, if we can get to that interaction level with a DAO, I think that's going to be a paradigm shift.
Beautiful. I think you opened up so many awesome things. And obviously, I mean, the use of DAOs in government. I think it can, if obviously, I mean, a government is brave enough to leverage DAOs and with maybe like a layer of AI in it, I think we will truly have governance that's beneficial and equitable for all. And we all wish for that. I mean, everybody wishes for that, but the problem is that we are so caught up with a capitalistic functioning ethos and society that it's very difficult to let go of the traditional. We do know the benefits that what these things are going to bring on, but we fear for because we are insecure. But only if they understand that what these tools that's coming in with DAOs, DeFi's, it has the potential to create a world which is much better and equitable for all. My last question to you. Thank you, first of all, Brad, for sharing your insight. Really appreciate it. What is the current user strength of Eqifi? Your views on India as a market opportunity and your roadmap for Eqifi. Where do you see Eqifi and yourself in the next 10 years?
I think the ideal user for Eqifi is either a bank client who's never touched crypto and really wants to get into crypto and needs a really simple user interface. On the DeFi side, anyone who's created enough value to want to do something with it in real life and doesn't have that access is also a really great user for us. And we welcome everyone. Even if you don't belong to either of these groups, you're really good at DeFi, you have excellent banking relationships, come experience the platform. It's new, we're very proud of it, and we appreciate the feedback. I mean, even if the feedback is constructive, it's not, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. We're okay with that because that makes the platform better. The place of India is always near and dear to my heart. I love the culture. I love the food. Oh my God, that's the reason I travel to India, because the Indian food in wherever city you are outside doesn't quite taste exactly the same. It's just close, even if it's authentic. But I think India is an incredible market. There's so much opportunity for us because of the banking issues, because of the access issues, because of the large population. I mean, just sheer numbers, if we could have everyone in India have an Eqifi account, we would have 1 billion users. So purely from a growth perspective, with our ethos of access and inclusivity, India is great. We have not opened up to the market right now because I understand there's a language barrier. Majority of Indians are fluent in English, multiple languages, I understand, but I don't want to cater to majority. I want to cater to everyone. So then obviously with all the different dialects and different languages spoken, there's going to be some localization challenges, which I can see, but we are very excited to have users from India. We encourage everyone to go to eqifi.com and open an account. We can service you. We can obviously you can use the DeFi products, but also banking side. We have bank clients from India, and so far the experience has been phenomenal. So we want to grow there. It's exciting. As far as Eqifi's roadmap, we want to grow into different markets. We want to grow into different blockchains. I always said we're blockchain agnostic, and some people pushed back and said, Brad, that doesn't mean anything. You can't be blockchain agnostic because you need to build on a blockchain. And I'm like, that doesn't mean that. It means we don't have a preferred blockchain. We want to build on all the blockchains that our community wants us to be on. So right now we're on 2. By the end of the year, we're going to be on 3. And by the end of 2022, I want to be on 8 different blockchains with the same product suite, interoperable, interchangeable. You can bring your fiat and exit in polys, you can bring your Polygon and exit in US dollars, or you can come with BNB and use an ETH product. So that's the level of bridging that I dream to do, and our tech team is working to accomplish.
Lovely. Brad, wish you and the team the very best. Yes, I think we need interoperable, more open ecosystem. On that note, thank you for taking time and being part of the podcast. And to my listeners, if you like what you see in here, please press the subscribe button. Until next time, you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you, Brad. Really appreciate this.
Thank you for having me, Eddie. Talk to you soon.